enough shitlords notice that. Oh, by the way, I've gone live because I'm bored. If enough people knew there was a Ron Jeremy gin, it would sell gallons. Yeah. I now need to buy a bottle of some. When I can save up, I'm buying Ron Jeremy's gin. I want to put his fluids in me.
I think a lot of the advertising is geared around that.
It's got a really cheesy label as well.
What's the label again?
It's like Ron Jeremy's sex face.
It's him on like a motorbike or something, I think.
I'm gonna pull up Google Images and see if anything crops up. Oh, hang on, hedgehog. Oh, he's on a motorbike,
that's the
isn't
one.
he? He's on a motorbike. Beautiful. Oh, there's this whole selection here. Let's pull up the image. Okay, I'll see if I can screen share that. The finest of all the gins. Here we go. That's much better. Oh, this is Jeremy rum and gin. He has rum and gin.
I just want it because the bottle's just so cheesy and over the top. It's brilliant.
Yeah, I may have to get a bottle of that at some point if I can save up for it. Oh, wow. Yes. We all need Ron Jeremy in us. Keep that career going. Without it, his mustache will wilt.
If you go on, if you look on the website, I think there's a parody of the Wrecking Ball video on there, but with Ron Jeremy on it.
Oh God!
I must have missed that.
I can imagine.
It's somewhere. It's definitely on the site somewhere.
Testicles.
Exactly. See if I can find it.
Please find it. That'd be amazing.
Rum. There you go, rum.
Just a minute. You want Ron Jeremy's rum in you? I bet it's like low grade as well.
I don't think it is. From reading all the gumph about it, I think there's been a lot of time and effort gone into sort of putting the rum and gin together.
That's very interesting. I sort of always assume that when you hear any sort of moderately famous person that makes a drink, for example, let's go with David Beckham's involvement in Hague Club, which is at best a mixing whiskey, corn whiskey, and I bought half bottle, and it's never going to be drunk again. I had one shot, and it was vile.
Do you know what the brewing company for the Ron Jeremy is? It's called One-Eyed Spirits.
Wait, what? Oh my God. I like that. At least he's like consistent with this, okay?
Yeah. He knows what he's good at.
Yeah. That's amazing. Oh, Ron Jeremy, he's got his fingers in all the pies.
But I don't think it's quite as much these days. He's getting on a bit.
I'll be honest, if he does, he's going out with having a heart attack mid.
Yeah, he ain't going out quietly.
Yeah, I'll be selling on masterofmalt.com. That's even better because I'll probably do a sample of it. They don't. Oh, well, never mind. I give up. Too much effort.
Oh, my God. There we go. I found it.
Oh, you found it?
Yeah, see if I can share my screen. How do I do it again?
There's a little green icon on the side of your Hangout with screen share on it.
Can you see that?
Yeah, hang on. I'm going to present to everyone. There we go. Play away. Probably won't hear it, but oh my God.
It's one of the most disturbing things I've seen for a while.
It's a little scarring.
Is he putting on a wrecking ball or one of his own testicles? Oh dear.
Okay.
I don't want to get flagged, so I'm going to stop presenting you now.
Okay.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, some highbrow entertainment tonight.
I'll be honest, if I saw that
was disturbing.
before the watershed, I'd want it so much. Somebody complaints from parents. Why do I see Ron Jeremy jumping on a ball? trying to sell alcohol before the watershed. I wonder if it affected sales in a positive way, though.
I don't know. I don't know the
It's
advertising.
it's not that expensive.
No, I think loads of people have probably just bought it because it's got his face on it.
Well, yeah, it's like £34 on Master of Malt. That's not bad for a gin.
No, it says it's aged up to 15 years in oak barrels.
And it won Rum World Award Best Gold something SIP Awards 2016. Yeah,
You can get Rum de Jeremy XO, the rum, for 40 quid. That's not bad. If it's, I want a sample first. And you can get a sample of that rum for 4 quid on Master Malt, so I'd get the sample.
I bet you that they've got like reviews that are completely full of innuendos. Like,
oh my god, Master Malt reviews are sometimes hilarious. Like, I've seen one with a whiskey that was 15 years old, and someone wrote, "If this was a girl, I'd be in prison."
Wow.
Also, yeah, but also the people who have these debates about the flavors and the scents and the aftertaste, and they're brutal. I love it. You just go in there and troll them. Ugh. I may have to buy a bottle of that in the future.
Once you start looking at rums, you realise how many weird different ones there are out there. I saw one called Dead Man's Fingers as well.
You're going to have to link that to me at some point.
I'll try and find it again. And what was the other? Oh, there was Cloven Hoof rum as well.
I've heard of that. My local corner shop, right, is the weirdest thing ever because it has all the basic corner shop stuff. So a fucking boatload of Stella and, some chocolate. But every so often it gets a really expensive bottle of whiskey in. And it's just started doing that with rums as well. So right at the back, on top of all the freezer units, there's like a really expensive bottle of Dalwhinnie and Bunnahabhain and some really, what's the rum called? It's really expensive. I can't remember what it's called, but it was really expensive. It's like 60 quid for this bottle. Like, why do you sell this?
Just asking to be stolen, isn't it?
To be honest, I'm quite tall and I can't reach them. So I can't imagine any of the teenagers could actually get up there either to do it. You have to get a ladder to go and get them. Oh, they do these all the champagne sets as well in a little wooden box with the sweets and the glasses. And I'm like, you know these never sell, right? Why do you get these in, you retard?
So what's that?
People here are poor. Are you rum shopping now?
Right this second? No.
After stream, though, yeah?
Of course.
They've got 4 different versions of that rum and 1 gin. I feel like they haven't put much effort into the gin. They need to do more.
No, but gin's kind of gin. There's not huge amounts you can do with it. Really.
It's hard to fuck gin up, to be honest, isn't it?
Very.
I still like that. Used to prank my old housemate by switching his gin for water, and he believed it.
Really?
Well, we left a tiny amount of gin in there, but it's Gordon's. What do you expect?
Oh, no, that's not proper gin.
Oh, well, now we know. Tell me of this proper gin, because I've never had proper gin.
Hendrix and Tanqueray are my favourites, personally.
I like they always sell Hendrix in gift sets in like Sainsbury's, and I've always wanted to get my hands on one of those.
It's a nice gin.
I'll take your word for it. Do you drink it neat or do you mix it up with stuff?
Tonic normally.
Fucking alcoholic. Sorry, who said that? Shh. So what should we talk about?
I feel like we should talk about Lacey, but I'm not sure I really want to again. It's like everybody's talking about that at the moment.
Mind. Well, yeah, but everyone's making videos about it. And
Yeah.
I'm intrigued with what people think because I've watched most of the videos. There are a couple I felt were just there because people wanted to get views. They didn't really have any solid opinions. Some were coming from the side of I'm saying I'm going to say it with a trademark skepticism, where they tried to be skeptical of Lacey's intentions, but Lacey was at best doing it in good faith. So there's no real there's no need to be skeptical. Whereas, and then there were others who were like, "Come on, let's hug it out, Lacey. Come here, let's hug."
I just think I don't think she's actually necessarily been totally red pilled. I mean, if you watch the video, she sort of says, "Look, I'm open to a conversation now." I mean, she's not jumped ship per se, but I think the anti-SJW lot are kind of embracing them. And you get embracing her, saying, "Come in," and then
it sounds like start discussion, and that's a good thing. That's the whole thing people have been wanting to begin with. We want to talk.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm labels.
I don't think that you necessarily need to bring her to your side, or the side. It's just a matter of at least that she's acknowledging that the other side are human beings.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
actually been shown people like Shives and Winters who openly will say they will not engage. It's like, I'm sorry, what's the fucking point then? You're just here to moan then about Bering and Sargon? Congratulations.
And that's pretty low effort.
Yeah. I can moan about Bering. I just clickbait a video title. Bering. Done.
True statement.
Yes.
Oh god.
What does everyone else think then?
But I just think until Lacey starts actually talking to more people, I don't think anyone can actually make up their mind completely because no one knows where she's going to go with it. Yeah. But at least, she's one of the few that are actually willing to put themselves out there and have a discussion.
Does she still have the show on MTV? Or has that been done? I don't know.
I don't know. I'm not sure. Braless, is it? Yeah, I'm not sure. I do like that. For example, there have been a few instances where there have been streams with like Marina Shut Up and Bering and anyone else, and Bering except for Christy Winters and Shives. Kevin Logan will talk to anyone because that's what he does, and he's amusing. You can't give him credit for that. Yeah.
Oh, there hasn't been a video upload to that channel in 8 months.
Really? Wait, what?
To Lacey Green's thing on MTV, Braless.
Oh, so that's over then, is it?
Yeah, it's been over. I didn't. I thought it was still going on, but I guess
it's the best, to be honest, because those videos were cancer.
Yeah.
I think anything
my first response video was to her, and I didn't even do it. All I did was I got my avatar that I was using then, and I didn't respond myself. I used memes to reply, video memes like just a dinosaur saying "No shit, Sherlock" and Cartman saying some random abuse. That I didn't respond at all because I was too lazy to record. Thank you, Lacey. You inspired me.
I think she comes across as being a little bit naive sometimes.
Have you watched her stream with the Quiplash game with Jeff Holiday?
I did. Yeah, we had that on.
That was so funny. So fucking funny.
She seemed really awkward there, didn't she? She seemed really out of place.
Yeah,
she's trying too hard a bit as well.
You need to bring the banter. You've got to know your audience. Bring the Nazi answers, and you're in.
Yeah, but did you see the actual comments section while she was talking?
Because he had the stream chat up on the side, didn't he?
Yeah, just like boobs.
Or was that a different stream? Oh, it might not have been that stream actually, but yeah, I had heard.
Yeah, I wish she was going to get a lot of that.
She did adjust her top halfway through. She adjusted her top. The comments went nuts when she did that.
That's how she's going to bring people around. Fun bags.
Quiplash brings out the interesting people.
Yeah, I do. I'm kind of looking forward to see who she talks to, because I think it'd be nice not only if she engages bigger channels, but also some of the smaller ones. Not me, because I'm boring. But some of the other ones, because I think it'd be very interesting. But also people like on that other little side as well, because they've all been, some of them have been abusive towards her on Twitter, or not abusive, they've been critical on Twitter towards her, and I think publicly discussing it would be very interesting.
I'd be interested to see is her talking to people that are apparently on the same side as her, that have basically shut the door in her face.
I'd be interested to see
Maybe I'll
her
talk to
interviewed on Dave Rubin.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
Yeah, and so he's a good interviewer. Some of his guests
Stephen
are
Crowder
a
would be fun as
little
well.
wacky, but
I want,
he's a good
I
interviewer.
want Stephen Crowder to interview as well, but I wanted to interview her in a dress. Because he did something in a dress and it amused me. I don't remember what it was, though.
He infiltrated something or other recently.
Yeah.
I can't remember exactly what, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. I have no life, and I knew this because I was watching Stephen Crowder. People need to upload more. Stop me watching Crowder.
The rescue.
Yeah. Lacey must talk to Bering. I think she will. He's a big enough channel. I think that'll be very interesting. He's very open to talking to anyone though, and he's done it with people he disagrees with. Like, have you seen half his streams with any of his streams with Tim? And he'll go onto other people's streams like with like that porn star Roland's, and he'll talk to him about stuff. He's always open to that kind of crap, which is good.
So definitely seems more open on the anti-SJW side to having these kind of debates.
There are some that are very closed off. There's no point. I'd be very naive to think otherwise. But it'd be nice if people do talk to each other more. It's not that it's going to resolve anything though, because you believe one thing, someone else believes something else. Just because you discussed it doesn't mean it's going to be resolved, or you're suddenly going to be, allies now?
Yeah. I was just thinking. I mean, when I was in the debate team at school. Yeah, I know. And
Fun times.
I know, rock and roll times, eh? And we had to take the opposite position in a debate.
Oh, yeah.
And that would be interesting to see.
Play devil's advocate.
Yeah. So from the other side of the coin.
That'd be very interesting. I only knew about that, by the way, because that Oxford girl who did that whole thing about free speech, I think it was actually, she said that she was doing that very thing of playing the other part. And that video itself kind of went viral. But I think she streamed with, was it Sargon about it? I can't remember. He has too many channels. I can never remember. I don't have a life.
Yeah.
Does anyone really?
No. No. Well, there was something else that happened. I saw in the news. I've sent a link earlier. I ignored it. Then people put it on Twitter and all across Discord. Was the Skep Fem thing. That was a bit of a shocker.
Oh, is this the one where he's allegedly shot somebody?
I think he's whether he's allegedly shot, I don't know, but the whole incident itself is quite a shock, isn't it?
Indeed, no doubt about that.
There was already, I think. Oh, it's already. I think it was Jet Frozen Binary put something on Discord like it was a psychotic episode. That's no excuse, really, is it?
Yeah, air quotes. Psychotic episode.
Yeah. At best, that just tells me, if you're in the UK, that just tells me you'd spend life in a very cushy prison. In the US, probably Supermax and on drugs. Congratulations.
Yeah,
some minority students at the University of Michigan have apparently felt intimidated by the interior wood paneling found throughout the historic Michigan Union Building.
Oh,
God damn it,
wood paneling.
My country.
Your country's doomed.
Yeah, no, these states are fucked.
So is wood paneling now oppressive?
Anna Webelman, former president of the Building a Better Michigan, an organization that voices student concerns about university development, stated that the student government meeting, the minority students felt marginalized by quiet, imposing masculine paneling found throughout the 100-year-old building. I mean, paneling
so
from like this 70s was it, or whatever, in like houses looks pretty shit, but I never thought of it as opposed.
Oh, I had some in my old student house. I'm like, this stuff is horrific.
Yeah, I put the link in the chat to the website. But
oh yeah, the College Fix. I love this website. It's full of so many lols.
It is.
Oh god.
And then there was
I'll see if
something
I can,
I think it was New Hampshire University. I don't think it was on the College Fix, but there was something about the students complained about diversity or something, that they wanted more colored faculty and stuff. And I'm like, New Hampshire's like 97% white or something. So
New Hampshire, I think, old fuddy-duddy land. Minority students feel marginalized by historic buildings imposing masculine paneling. It's oh my god. Oh, it's like any of the students that get triggered by statues of people from centuries long gone by.
I mean, I get triggered by modern art nowadays because it's just I don't.
Is it just because it's just a blank canvas and someone's gone? Yeah, there you go. There's art.
Or yeah, the Philadelphia Art Museum had a modern art section, and I just questioned everything because how is a toilet with graffiti on it art? How is this piece of string?
That's this blackboard. Is that? Oh, there's a name for that. It's like Damien Hirst kind of art.
Oh, Tracy Emin as well does it. You know,
contemporary art.
Bed.
I just don't get it.
Contemporary art. It's terrible. Oh, here we go. The building dubbed by campus officials as one of the University of Michigan's most recognizable landmarks is going to undergo that's a lot of money for a renovation.
Yeah.
Are they removing the paneling though? Are they removing the paneling though?
That's probably a request.
Are they triggered because the building's got wood?
It looks good. I like it. It looks like fake doors everywhere.
People being offended for being offended's sake, isn't it?
Maybe because it's got so much wood, it promotes rape culture.
Probably. Well, New Jersey wants to spend, I think, $300 million to renovate our state house because it's kind of falling apart. So, yeah. But then again, that's a bigger building than one shitty little campus building.
State buildings
that has wooden
campus.
Yeah.
It's just isn't the irony
isn't
the irony lost on
students? Okay.
Did it's like the Mary Whitehouse experience never happened. Did you ever watch that?
No.
It was late 80s, early 90s, and it was when the whole political correctness thing came along originally, spearheaded by Mary Whitehouse, but from more of a religious point of view. You can't show flesh and all that kind of stuff on TV.
Right, be more conservative.
Yeah, but conservative, and and everyone laughed at her, and then a load of comedians came up with the Mary Whitehouse experience, laughing at her, and that's it. Feels like then the new generation of kids now, or people coming into their adult life and university, never get exposed to that, so they never had the experience of kind of people trying to oppress the media and everyone just laughing at them, and now it's kind of happening again, but this time it's coming from more from the extreme left as opposed to the extreme right. It's crazy.
Oh, here we go. Current president of Building a Better Michigan says the comment wasn't necessarily about wood paneling, and they believe it was an offhand comment about how many students felt marginalized by the quiet nature of the building when they entered. What do you expect? Hear fucking 50 Cent as you walk in? Fucking hell. Yeah. And he still raps, right?
Yeah,
I know the raps.
So many universities are just going down. Well, I mean, it's my University of... Or it was Missouri, I think, was it the Mizzou or whatever? The one, the Melissa Click or whatever, had like a 35% drop in enrollment or something, and I'm like,
that's actually a thing, isn't it? A few universities have suffered for all this.
Yeah, no, they're actually suffering enrollment problems
as well.
Yeah, and then I sent another link. The Miss USA pageant, the winner.
I was going to cover that because that was so funny.
Yeah, it was. I saw it popping up all over my Facebook, and because people I know are kind of pissed at it, I'm like, lol.
In her winning speech, said that
she thought wrong things.
By equalist of human. Yeah. They said that she did. There's some other comments and they're brilliant. Some of these comments are like, you're not very intelligent for a nuclear scientist or something. And like, well, she's very intelligent for a nuclear scientist, though.
Or because she's African American and she's not embracing Democrat ideas, so of course she could be shunned.
She's well, I'll be honest, it's quite a normal thing for people who actually are in STEM fields, genuine STEM field people.
Yes, because we're not indoctrinated at university.
Exactly. I did chemistry, and everyone I know from back then now, not one of them, they see this and they're like, "What the fuck is this shit? I'm going back to my lab."
Yeah, no,
It's like this is social crap, and they don't care about it.
Yeah, basically, if you are managed to at least do either math or science or engineering or technology or something, you don't have to take these random or as many random bullshit classes as everybody else. But if you're going into like psychology or something, you're gonna get indoctrinated pretty quick.
I don't know what's going on in my mind. I know exactly what's in there. It's not, but it's best it stays there. Fuck psychology.
When I had my commencement 2 years ago, the engineering students graduated with the College of Math and Science at my school, which happened to include psychology in it. I still don't get why they're lumped in there, but whatever. And we all chuckled when they read off their degree or whatever, because we were like, "You're all not going to."
My old uni doesn't have a psychology degree; it has psychosocial science instead. Which to me sounds like crap because it was always in the humanities department. I'm like, you've got science in the name, take it away, take it out now. It doesn't belong there.
Yeah.
There's no sweet science to understanding something we don't actually understand yet.
Or will usually ever understand.
Mm-hmm. There's which university was it? Oh, actually, I'll talk about it now then. So the next video I'm working on, I'm hoping to. If I don't finish it in time, it's fine. I'll make something else. Is about the very first response video done to me, and the guy hasn't got it on his channel anymore. But I've got the video, and he responds to my an article I covered on some black students who wanted safe spaces on college campuses away from white people around the country. Now the majority, and this is the part that made me laugh the most. The part that really stuck at me in that article was that it was like areas that were predominantly Hispanic and had a majority of Hispanic students that were asking for spaces away from white people.
So they wanted self-imposed segregation.
Segregation, yes. And this was a few months ago, but I couldn't be bothered to cover him. And a lot of his answers, it just seemed relevant with the whole college thing. But a lot of his answers, which I'm going to try and filter out along with his horrific audio, are going to center around that he answers about times. Well, that's just not the way it is, and that's not even a fucking joke.
That's not an argument.
I don't know. I might just leave. Just every time he says it, insert a different meme with "good argument, bro."
God, it was Harvard University had I don't know if it was a separate or an additional ceremony or graduation ceremony for their African American students.
Oh
or
yeah,
am I black? Yeah, or it might have been. I don't know if it was specifically African Americans because they said black, but Hispanics aren't necessarily black.
Segregation.
Yeah, like it's all the Ivy League schools too are really.
What I think is really good about this because it's so progressive. In the near future, because this is great. You've separated the blacks from the pesky whites. Now, what we need to do is make sure that those pesky whites have a separate water fountain, sit in different designated areas on a bus, and have different public houses, and maybe go pick cotton. White privilege, everyone. You're welcome.
Yeah, actually, that reminds me of that Sean Head parody video she did. That the statistician got, the statistician got all that shit for.
Queen thing,
that thing.
Yeah, that one.
She's
that unfortunate series of events.
But yeah, she was doing that hyper realistic, hyper version of of the SJW, but she was saying that exact stuff. But it's actually not that far from the truth now. People are actually running this type of stuff. It's crazy.
Yeah,
it's scary.
It is, but they're losing, and they know it, so it's okay.
I'm going to be going to Title. I don't know if y'all know what Title IX necessarily is in the States. The whole.
No, what is it?
So Title IX in the United States is originally supposed to attempt to gain equal or like make it easier for women and stuff to be involved in. That sports were the main focus of it. That basically if there was a male soccer team, there had to be a female soccer team, and equity that way. What it's recently transformed into with the Dear Colleague letter that I forget who it was at the time, but it was during the Obama administration in 2011, that basically if there was a sexual assault on campus, that the campus was required to investigate it as opposed to the police handling it. So it's led to these kangaroo courts in the States, and a lot of schools have just been railroading guys because in many of the cases, they're not allowed lawyers to defend themselves, but the accuser is allowed a lawyer. The accused isn't allowed to know who even is accusing them. It's just a complete derailment of due process over here.
That's happened in the UK at some universities, including my own one, where they've prosecuted or through campus laws. They've done this, and they've gone into these disciplinaries or these what do they call them? They've gone into these rooms with like a judge, jury, and all these other people, and they don't even know.
It's ridiculous, and I'm like,
tribunal.
Yeah, it's a tribunal. Like, why are campuses handling this? And there's been many cases of men who have been kicked out of college and had their names smeared or whatever. Sometimes they've sued the colleges, and many of them don't go to court, but they do win at settlement. But we don't know how much.
Yeah, the thing with the rape, I take real issue with a lot of rape laws, not only because it doesn't include male being victim, but also because
you guys are screwed for the UK. Because doesn't the UK still not say that men can be raped, or did that change?
Pretty much. And also the issue that a lot of men's names will be put out there.
Yeah.
Because even if they're proven to be innocent, okay. Best example would be what you call soccer. A football player called Ched Evans. Now, several years ago, he was sent down for 5 years for raping somebody. Football player lost his job, everything gone. He did 2.5 years. Got out, and he started playing football again, but in the lower leagues because he couldn't get his job back. His name was
I remember hearing about this.
Smeared by Olympic gold medalists who were patrons to the club that he used to play for, who he's just re-signed with because he was fucking found innocent when it went back in an appeal.
Yeah,
and what happens to the girl? Nothing. False claim.
It's ridiculous.
Entirely. And by the way, another thing. I was a member of the NUS in this country. I've sat in those tribunals, and I have been brought in on a charge of sexual misconduct. Let's go with that. And I've been one of the people who has said, "Bye. This goes nowhere. This either goes to the police or it doesn't go anywhere." Because we're not legally
criminal issue.
We're not exactly. We're not a criminal court. We're not law enforcement. This doesn't go through.
You're not trained into how to properly do anything.
Exactly.
And with Title IX, they have a specific set of guidelines for training the investigators or the people who will be sitting on the quasi jury, if there is even a jury. And it's so bad. But I'll be attending one of those conferences because it's being held at my university. So they're having a university I used to attend anyway. And I wanted to go to be like, how screwed are you? Like one of the workshops is how to conduct a successful Title IX investigation. I'm like, what do you define successful as? Finding the truth or just getting the guy kicked out? Because 90% of the time it's a guy.
Fine line. There's people who've lost they lose somebody or they go through a traumatic experience, their idea of justice is the person that has been found innocent repeatedly to then be found guilty. That to them is the solution, because obviously they need closure. Unfortunately, their closure comes at the hands of someone else losing, well, their life to an extent.
Basically,
even if they've been found innocent previously.
It's But a lot of universities have been sued, and a lot of universities have had to pay out settlements. So
Yeah, we a lot of there was a thing done.
You just don't care about it ever.
And they put a green or yellow or red color over the university, depending on their views on free speech.
Fire.
And my university was red. I was so disappointed.
Or like are you talking about fire? I forgot what they
no, whether or not they supported free speech, or whether they had rules in place that protected free speech. And my old uni, which was very pro free speech, is no longer free speech at all.
These people.
Oh, let's have a look.
Because I think that's who you're. If not, that's another group of people that do that. The Foundation for Individual Rights and Education. Christina Hofstadter talks about them a lot. That's why.
.org, the fire.org. I'd never actually seen this before. Let's have a look.
So I don't know if that's just an American thing, but it does the same thing where it will rate schools based on various codes that they have, and like free speech codes. So I didn't know if it was international, if it was just in the States.
I'm looking at it thinking, I don't have a Texas.
Oh, Texas.
Well, there's a me in the top corner. I'm me. Apparently, I'm in a corner.
Yeah.
What is me anyway?
Yeah.
Tell me, what does ME stand for in States?
ME? What is ME? Is that? I don't even know.
Maine.
Right. That's the weird one.
You're welcome. You've just been taught.
I don't really care about the other states too much.
I really
don't use that. I really don't use like the abbreviations for anything either. It's just that's Maine up there. I don't think ME.
Outside of like the little area I live in or the little area I grew up in, I just don't care about the rest of the country.
That's an accurate statement.
In fact, most of anything outside of London doesn't give a fuck about London.
And you guys are a small country over there.
Yeah.
Yes, but our roads make it really complicated, so everything takes forever to get anywhere.
Well, being densely populated.
We're not done in grids.
I have to drive anywhere because I live out in the suburbia, so there's no public transportation near me.
I just have 2 feet.
Yeah. If you live in a city like Philadelphia or New York, you're good with public transport. But once you go out to like the Midwest, like there's nothing. It's just wheat fields and maybe a cornfield.
I'm very sorry to hear that.
Never had to drive out there.
Strip clubs, no casinos.
Maybe on a Native American reservation. That's a thing. Like a lot of casinos are run by Native Americans.
Do they actually do they segregate themselves from have their own culture within their reservations or something?
Kind of. They have their reservations or tribes or whatever, so they're still U.S. citizens in a way. It's just they have a interesting relationship that I can't exactly explain because I'm not that familiar with it, but they are pseudo-segregated in a way, but they choose to.
See, they're the real trendsetters.
I mean, then we have the Amish
and alcoholism.
Then we have the Amish that just don't use modern technology.
I was just about to say, there seems to be a similar connect there, but sort of in separating themselves from everyone else.
I mean, if it works, you don't get to deal with the crazies.
Yeah, but do Amish people use round wheels or square wheels?
I think they're smart enough to use round wheels.
Oh, a square one would be funnier.
That was a great Mythbusters episode. I don't know if they actually drove a truck with a square wheel. And it actually works halfway decent at high speeds.
That's not too surprising, but at the same time, that was pretty funny. Someone gave me all the MythBusters. Well, they gave me 8 seasons, I think it was, downloaded, and I swear I don't recall seeing a single episode where one thing didn't get blown up with dynamite.
Even if it didn't need to be. Yeah.
Exactly. They've sold the myth. Well, now let's just blow it up.
Yeah.
There's a video of them driving. It's only like 22 seconds.
Oh, the car they attach all the rockets to.
Oh, yeah. Jado, I think, or something. Yeah. They did that like 3 times.
Oh, yeah. That was amazing.
There's an episode where they were shooting gas tanks to see if they would explode.
Oh,
That's my childhood ruined.
Because if you shoot a gas tank, it will blow up.
Yeah,
they did a great thing with a toilet. They tried to drop a cherry bomb in it with a mannequin on top.
Yeah.
Give them the desired results. What do? They packed the toilet and blew it up.
I mean, the best explosion, I think, has to be cement truck.
Oh, God, yeah. That was epic.
Yeah.
Yes, I loved that. That made me laugh.
Douche.
I think what they need to really do is blow up that guy with the mustache, his mustache.
You need to blow up Jamie's mustache.
Yeah, why not? Let's see if can it be blown up. I think it'd be a very interesting couple seconds that his face remains.
There's a YouTube channel, I think, maybe a TV show that has a guy who creates like medieval weaponry, and
oh yeah,
and then he hits like those
watermelons, probably.
No, it's like a human. They get like they're using MythBusters. They have like
the
human
impact jelly with a skull inside it with brains and blood all over it, and he'll basically go to town with it and sort of start hitting with a Scottish broadsword or something to see what happens to it.
That's on YouTube because we wasted hours watching it.
Yeah.
Dude, did he do one? Because I want to see this. Did he do one with a Morning Star? Because I'd very much like to see that.
He's done a lot of things.
My favorite weapons, even though it's not a very good weapon, it's somewhat inefficient. I very much like the Morning Star, and I want to see if he does it.
I used to watch Mail Call on the History Channel back before the History Channel went like all aliens and reality TV shows. It was with Arlie Ermy, where he just basically took fan questions about different military technology or weapons or whatever, and a lot of the time he would just use the weapons on watermelons. It's a cool show. And then the History Channel and Discovery Channel and Animal Planet just went a little
I got
weird.
It. See, when I first came onto YouTube, I was hooked on American prison documentaries, including the gangs, including the Supermax prisons and the women's prisons. I was addicted to these because I was so interested in how your system worked and how
fucked up it is.
How absolutely exactly, but also the social aspect of how people would separate themselves based on race. That interested me.
Yeah, the American prisons.
But the Supermax prisons, watching one being built with the metal framing in first, and then just pure liquid cement being applied to this frame to make sure there's absolutely nowhere people can get out.
Yeah.
That was very cool.
Yeah, the private prison system in America is... It has its issues.
Oh, I'm sure it does. Much like the education bubble that will eventually burst.
Yeah, I don't know how much longer.
We're all fucked, okay?
Yeah. I know that, what was it, New York State, a month or two ago, they're offering free tuition at I think it's only at the New York State University.
Oh, yeah.
But you basically have to live in the state for 4 years or some years afterwards after you get a degree or something. Else you have to pay back. So I'm like, okay, well, that's something. At least the state's investing in you, as opposed to whatever, like somebody from out of state coming and then leaving.
We and I love that I get to mention this for a third consecutive stream. I get to talk about UK politics now. The manifesto for the party it's going to lose came out last week.
Oh, I was listening to Sargon talking about that.
On the manifesto was something about phasing out university tuition fees, and when I saw this, I was on Discord with Irate Bear. I was raging about this. I was livid because I went to university. I paid my dues. I worked nights.
Yep.
Yeah,
I did all myself, right? And it's to me, the way I perceived it is university was a choice because I wanted to be something more, and that to get there, I needed a degree and a certain type of skills. It was a privilege and not a right. If that makes sense.
Yes.
Like you're not entitled to go to university. You have to earn it, and then you pay it back.
Do you guys have the equivalent of like a technical school where somebody would go to learn how to be an electrician or a plumber or something?
We do, yes.
Yeah. It's sad to see.
We actually call it work-based training, so NVQs, vocational qualifications instead.
Okay. Yeah,
it'd
be nice. Those aren't encouraged for people at all, despite the fact that they cost a hell of a lot less and that people tend to make more than most recent college graduates.
We have something called Open University, and that's becoming more popular because you learn in your own time, and it costs a lot less.
They've been pushing apprenticeships as well.
Yeah.
Oh God, yeah.
Couple of years.
Right. Okay. So when I first lost my job, I was 25. I just got my master's, and I couldn't get a job, and I found BT had some apprenticeships. I was like, I'll apply for that. They after doing all these little crappy assessments with them, they finally accepted me, and all they asked for was 4 GCSEs. My age wasn't an issue, which I was like super happy with. Unfortunately, I took in every qualification I had, including my master's degree, to which they replied, "Oh, we're sorry, we think you'll leave within 6 months." I'm like, I'm about to be kicked out of my house, you cunt. I need the fucking work. I'll do the 2 years. I'll do my time. I love you long time.
Yeah, like when I was in high school, what was it, like 6 years ago, and none of the counselors or anything, even though there were people that I knew that wouldn't be able to cut it in college, or that they would drop out after a semester or two, that they would have been able to do a technical degree, but instead they wasted a couple grand on tuition that they won't ever earn back.
I know some student people that have made videos in the past advocating for free uni tuition. I'm like, you guys need to suck my noodly appendage. You just don't get. You don't get that university is not something everyone. It's like people who think school is free as a kid, and I'm like, have you ever seen your council tax bill? Do you really think education's free in this country? Are you out of your freaking mind?
Yeah, property taxes.
Yeah, exactly. Everything's paid for via taxes. It's not free. Shut up. The only difference is that is a right from the system we have. It's not the same as university.
Right.
Which is no longer subsidized by the government anymore. So quite frankly, it's definitely not a right.
Didn't you, over in the UK, have like a tuition increase of a little bit, and then people lost their shit a few years ago?
It wasn't a little. It went up from 1,200, like $3,000 a year, to $9,000 a year.
Oh.
Okay. I paid the lower end, and I'm very happy for that. And
Same here.
Right, the Liberal Democrats, they on their manifesto in 2010, they said they were going to vote against the rise in tuition, which was being subsidized by the government, which in itself was a problem because we had a huge deficit, and we had to instigate to start austerity measures, which meant that had to be cut off, which meant that it was always going to go up. And then the Lib Dems, when they formed a coalition with the Conservatives, all U-turned. And so they lost the majority of their fan base, and at the 2015 elections lost most of their MPs. Congratulations, Liberal Democrats. First chance you get power, you literally fuck your entire fan base.
My public university tuition was like $13,000 for a year. So,
is that good or bad?
That's on the lower end, because private universities, they tend to charge. Well, it's private, but they can go upwards of like 50,000 a year. And I don't understand. I mean, when you go to a private university, you tend to get a lot in scholarships, but you have to maintain that GPA and stuff. But I just much debt when you could go to a public university and get basically the same education.
Oh.
But yeah, no, 13,000 wasn't too bad a year because I'm almost done paying it.
That's expensive.
It's expensive, and if you don't plan right, or if you go in without a plan of what you're going to do with your degree, then you're not going to have a good return on your investment.
Oh god, yeah. I know a lot of people went to university solely because they wanted to say, "I've been to university,"
or they wanted to have that experience.
A lot of them end up working in a shop like Sports Direct or in those star-cut coffee houses with English lit degrees.
That's the things the amount of people I've spoken to who've got degrees like like fine art or something. And all the people I work with, like IT. I mean, I've got well, it's not quite a degree. It's the one H&D in like moving image.
Oh, I did one. I did one of those.
Yeah. Am I using it? No. Then that's the thing is like it just seems like unless you've got something that's very vocational, you're not actually going to use it. So
before I did HND, I did an AVCE in ICT, and it got phased out the year later. And I was telling people about it, and they're like, "I've never heard of this. Is this even real?" Oh, for fuck's sake.
I think that I've never actually been asked about my higher education in my current job. It was just from progressive moves through different companies. I've just managed to accrue experience and enough to say I know what I'm doing, and and some vendor qualifications, and that's taken me through far more than any university degree would ever done. Come out of university with a piece of paper and say, "Look, I've got," and they go, "Yeah, well, what have you done?" So when I was trying to get into the media industry, when I was at Buckingham Chilterns University College in High Wycombe, that there was literally about 200 people in the media course. There aren't that many jobs, and that's just one university. So what are those other people going to
do? Yeah.
I lasted the grand total of about 6 weeks at uni and was like, this just isn't worth it. And I quit and went and got a job and started earning money.
I know somebody that went to university and they got their loans, and then they were like, I could go, but this money could be like in a cash register somewhere.
Somebody I know who went to university for 2 years and then for like theater production or something, and then he dropped out and he's now a event planner, a wedding planner, and he's like planning this big multi-$100,000 wedding in New York City, and he's very successful. Like you don't need a degree.
That's awesome.
Like it's something that you can do with your life. Like if you want to, you could start a business or anything like that.
I know a couple people. One of my very first housemates, the very first person I met, in fact, he did meteorology and oceanography, and he works for the Met Office, and he gets to travel around the world doing stuff for them. He was in Micronesia or some crap last year?
Yeah,
the Federation of Micronesia or something. And I was like, that's awesome. He gets to go around and do all this. That's pretty cool. He doesn't earn much, but he gets to do something he enjoys. There are others that have started businesses and have mounted stuff. And then there are others. I think one of them I used to play football with all the freaking time. He's now he owns his own little plastic surgery kind of clinic for collagen fillers and Botox and stuff. Because he was done with medicine because the junior doctor strike stuff really hit him hard. But then there are others who've kind of gone down, who've done really well at uni, and then they're just, and they wanted to amount to something at uni, but then they work in the cash register in Primark or something, and they're like, this is just, or pumping up tires in Halfords. It's like, I got a PhD in philosophy. What do you do for a job? I ring this little bell on this cash register and get help because I get confused by the till.
Lawmakers have given final approval to a new kind of specialized court for domestic violence cases. Oh boy, Oklahoma, what are you doing?
Oh, what's Oklahoma doing?
I shared the link. If Governor Mary Fallon signed the bill, it would like cases that the same domestic situation be assigned to the same judge. Family members would also be able to. So moving like a domestic violence stuff would be handled by a family court. That could be a problem because if that's a criminal thing and you're denying somebody the right to be trial by their peers, I think that's the Sixth Amendment.
I couldn't click the link because so many adverts popped up on it that I couldn't hear you. I'll check it out after stream, though. I will.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Are you tired?
States are doing their own things to just screw up due process.
Let Oklahoma beat itself up.
And it's funny because that's a Republican governor too. Conservative.
Well, they need to appeal. They need the popular vote now. Come on. They look progressive. I'll definitely check that out afterwards.
Yeah.
There was a thing not so long ago in UK. MP Jess Phillips, she was supporting Women's Aid, who what they were trying to do was, and I don't really mind it so much. That was have the single parent survivors of DV, so the mothers. This was totally focused on the mothers.
Despite the fact that men can be victims of DV and be single
those
parents, but
stats, annoyingly, and I'll get to that in a second, are going to be really difficult to explain. But have it so that they will never have to be in the same courtroom or be interrogated by the abuser. Now, the issue here is...
I remember hearing about this,
Online, there's like 2 million single parents in the UK, okay? 200,000 of which are male. Now, there are a few, unfortunately, if you look at the numbers that the .gov websites provide, there's no mention of the number of male victims of DV that don't get custody of kids, because custody predominantly goes to the mother. Which means, even if you look at the 200,000, and there are, by the way, no numbers on the number of those that are male victims of DV, you still don't know what the actual number is, and also being the fact this law is somewhat, this suggestion for family courts, or legislation through those courts is being pushed. It is gendered.
Is that
That's
the one that...
also an issue.
I remember hearing something, but I don't remember if that was basically all the testimony would be pre-recorded and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that whole thing, and that the male.
I'm not against the idea. I do just agree. I do push the idea that it should be for both male and female victims.
I guess I'm used to the idea that you should be able to confront your accuser.
I think if you've been beaten if you've had the living fuck beaten out of you by your ex, I do feel at the moment.
Yeah, but then you have to prove that it wasn't self-inflicted, or that they didn't have somebody else beat them up, which has happened where people have beat themselves up really good to make it look like that their spouse or significant other abused them, or if they had somebody else beat them up.
I think past the initial reaction of people trying to ascertain based on them to briefly look in the courtroom, I think a lot of it could be ascertained through forensic science. Not all of it, but I think certainly a large amount of it could. The rest of it would obviously be difficult.
And then I remember,
but still, the issue I took from that whole thing was that the numbers are skewed, and so it would just be very hard to, for us in our country, we can't really ascertain how many single parents would actually be male if the custody if the custody was decided fairly, if that makes sense.
If it wasn't just default women.
Yeah, it really bothers me, because surely the best place for a child is with the parent who's going to do the best job. And that doesn't necessarily mean it's always going to be the mother.
Well, this is where the issue arises of vindictive exes, lawyers, but then obviously if one's predominantly the caregiver, then it'll go to that person while the other person provides for them while they work.
It bothers me that it's always that the mother is always the caregiver, because that's not necessarily the case.
But if the mother is the worker and the father's the caregiver, do you think that the father will get custody of the kids when he's not able to provide because he was the caregiver?
Probably not.
which is the excuse that will be given, even though that will not be given the other way around.
But then again, if a woman necessarily wants the custody of a child, all she has to really do is say that he sexually assaulted the kid, and it basically puts a halt to everything. At least in the States, it's so many instances of that in family court where somebody will claim he sexually abused the kid, and it'll just be done from there. It's sad.
It's a bit wrong. It just seems like people use their kids to kind of spite their ex that they're pissed off
Yeah,
at.
it's unfortunate because kids need a male role model in their life, and they're not going to get it in their education because it's like primary to elementary and stuff is like 90% female, I think, and only when you get to like high school is it maybe 50-50.
Or even then, okay, so one of my friends, she's Floridian, and a couple of her teachers that are male are science teachers and are all social justicey and have said things that do not fall in line with science at all, but instead with more progressive ideals. And it's like, oh, fantastic! These guys are this toxic ideas are everywhere now. Congratulations.
Yeah, I feel my niece, she's in high school, and they had to. It was just back to the education thing, but they were asked to write a plan of what they wanted to do for like their higher education or anything, and she said, "I don't want to go to college. I want to go to school for cosmetology and be a hairdresser or whatever." And her teacher was like, "No, not allowed to do that." Like, but she has a plan, and it's not going to cost her $100,000 to do this. But the teacher just wanted to push for her to do something better in like STEM or something, but she's not interested in it.
Yeah, see, you shouldn't push people into areas they don't. If you're interested, I wanted to be a fireman when I was a kid. I wish I was that instead, but then I realized it's only a part-time job at best. So when I was a teenager, I wanted to be a carpenter because of my dad and my granddad. And
in some of our cities, they have
college,
full-time firemen, but that's about it.
Lucky them bastards. But when I was in college, when I went to go to college, which to you are your senior years,
Okay.
I went to go and do a carpentry vocational thing at college, and they said, "Why do you want to be a carpenter?" I was like, "I would love to be like my dad and my granddad," and they actually railed on me for having male role models. Oh,
What?
I was 17. I'm like, are you kidding me? I just want to be like actual decent people. Is that so bad? You've got to be yourself. You can't let this toxic masculinity. Oh, shut the fuck up. I was 17.
I don't think anyone really knows exactly what they want to do when they're 17, do they?
No. Obviously, I wanted to go outside and climb trees. I'm not even kidding. I was always up a tree somewhere.
Was it at 17?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just posted a thing for. I sometimes check the Ask Reddit subreddit, and one of the things that popped up, the people who check university applications, what do students tend to ignore, put in that would otherwise increase their chances of acceptance. One of the things one of the people said is, sadly, checking off that they're Asian hurts their chances due to affirmative action rules.
Racism.
Right. Affirmative action in the States is terrible. It's like you're not doing it based off of somebody's merit. You're doing it based off the color of their skin.
The initial idea of affirmative action, certainly when it was introduced, I kind of understood why. But I didn't think it was a great idea. Now I think it's, if anything, it harms people that they're trying to help.
There's a lot of ideas that were good, but then when they were actually implemented, were just terrible. Like George Bush's "No Child Left Behind" was originally supposed to make sure that you don't leave a child behind, but instead, in the American education system, students are
the "No Child Left Behind"
held to the dumb.
That was mocked beautifully on South Park.
it's like instead of allowing a students who are good to exceed, they have to be brought down to
by the one
middle.
fat kid.
It's like so many ideas could have been good, but implemented badly. Like communism.
I kind of understand.
Don't worry, communism will be implemented right this time, guys.
I kind of got the idea with No Child Left Behind because it implied this idea of trying to get everyone to work together. Unfortunately, if you've got one fat kid in your class and they're the reason everyone's been dragged down, you don't want to do everything to help them. You want to beat them up. You want to tenderize them.
Yeah, I know that firsthand.
Sorry, man.
It's all right. I'm over it. It's fine. It was a long time ago.
The galaxy far
I
far.
sometimes cold shivers.
I do remember doing those with it cross country runs. Did you ever do those?
Yeah.
And I was me and this other fat guy. We had this race at the end where like the last two to get to the end of the run, and we used to have this like sprint. And I must have looked like such a dickhead. I was just trying to beat him. I'm gonna win. I'm gonna be last. I still thought that was an accomplishment.
I hate races. I was a long distance runner in school, and I was do cross country. I was really good at that. So sports day comes around. So where do they put me? 100-meter sprint. I'm stood next to all these guys, incredibly long, lanky guys. I'm like,
this isn't gonna work.
We know what's about to happen. We know. Come on, if you give me a lift. And they are halfway down the track before I've even realized it's time to run. And that's such a prick.
Yeah. Most sport I ever did was bowling because I'm an asthmatic. So
Bowling
lots
is
of
awesome.
running kind of makes life difficult, despite the fact that I play instruments, but that helped. I play trombone, horn, and euphonium, so despite being an asthmatic, I'm good at it.
Bowling's fun though.
Yes. I bowled a 278 a month ago. I think that was like 9 in a row or something.
My highest is 212, I think.
Yeah.
And that was really drunk though. Incredibly. I drunk so much. I bowled 6 strikes in a row a turkey, right? 3
strikes is a turkey.
I did 6, and I was really pissed. At one point on my 9th ball, I think the ball bounced down the alley. I literally bounced. And what it was, I'd actually pulled out the child rack to help. And somebody had I turned around to get my ball, and they'd taken it away without me realizing. So I held the ball up and just threw it forwards like a basketball push shot. Bounced all the way down. That ruined my strike. I've also done it to the point where I've got someone gave me a ball. I think I'd had so much tequila, and they put a ball too small in my fingers, and as I went to let go, I have in fact gone forward with it, and I'm trying not to fall over. So I've walked all the way down there and just kicked the what do you call them things? Skittle things.
Pins.
Pins. Yes, I kicked the pins. Okay. I kicked. Yeah. Fucking no.
Drinking bowling. It's an
Bowling.
interesting combination.
Drunk bowling. Okay, so when I was 17, the first time I ever got drunk and played bowling, I was a work thing, and I don't know why they were giving me drinks. I was like, not legal, and I obviously very very light at the time. I was getting wrecked on Smirnoff Ice. Okay,
Smirnoff Ice.
Dude, I was 17. Okay, Smirnoff Black Ice. And I was trying very hard to bowl forward, but in the end, I ended up putting the ball on my shoulder like a shot put and launching it across the aisles. That was my yeah. Yeah. I'm special. Surprised I didn't get my ass kicked for that one.
Most I'll ever do is drink and play video games. I won't hurt anybody with the bowling ball.
Yeah, I wish I like bowling, but bowling's fun. Drunk bowling, especially.
It seems interesting.
I've gone up to somebody I was bowling with, and he's about to go bowling and about to bowl, and I'm super happy I've got another strike. I've got to him from the side, and I've given him what I thought was a very light hug, what actually turned out to be me shattering 6 of his ribs. Apparently, I'm heavy-handed. He's incredibly delicate.
All those tentacles.
I tell you what, he didn't beat me. I think it must have been deep down in my subconscious me trying to just wreck his score. I don't advocate for violence or anything, but seriously, that was awesome.
I had a similar thing when I first started doing jiu-jitsu years ago. I wanted to show this guy at a house party, one drunk, how to do one of those rear naked choke things.
All right.
And I assumed he knew the whole tap out thing. You can see where this is going.
Yeah, the 3 taps. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm sitting there, and he's a little bit shorter than me. And I had him like a couple of inches off the ground in this chokehold, and apparently, my friends were just, I was expecting him to just tap, and he was apparently just turning blue. And eventually, when my friends told me, like, no, you got to let go, and he turned around like thought I'd be trying to kill him or something, and I was like, didn't mean to.
Fucking murderer.
That must have been about 15 years ago, and I haven't spoken to him since.
I wonder why.
Oh, that guy can hold a grudge.
See, why would he hold a grudge? I mean, all you did, if anything, you brought him closer to God.
Yeah, sure you saw it that way. We weren't exactly close friends to begin with.
Wow, you certainly sped up that relationship's conclusion.
Yes. So where were we?
I don't know.
Talking shit on the internet.
Yeah.
Split off on a few different tangents.
Hey, nothing wrong with this tangent. It involved alcohol. Oh wait, tequila bowling. I've been looking at bottles of tequila. I need to find the one I was drinking when I last went bowling. I think it was in like a skull bottle, but it was like all painted and stuff. Like one of those masks. Day of the something. Dead. Dia
de los Muertos, isn't it?
Probably.
The Day of the Dead.
Yeah. But yeah, I think it was painted like that. It was quite nice. Definitely a bowling drink. Tequila slammer for every bowl. Oh dear. I did that for a stag do as well. Not mine. A friend of my friend was best man to somebody and they needed an extra person. And I was like, okay, I'll go. What are we doing? Going to go karting, and then we're gonna play some golf, and then we're gonna bowl, and then gonna go get some food. And I'm like, great. Never driven go-kart before, so that showed. I came last. After somebody spun me out on the last corner. That was nice.
Go-karting's fun.
Well, it was until I got spun out. I was about to get a medal. Golf was okay. I cheated, so I came third. I'm left-handed as well, so there were no clubs for me, so I had to kind of Happy Gilmore it. And the bowling, I'd had quite a considerable amount of Jack Daniels because the groom, I don't know, he's a bit more of a girl than the wife is. I call him a bride. The bride wanted. The groom asked the bride to get rid of the 1 liter of Jack Daniels because the groom was sick of seeing the bride's bottle of Jack Daniels never drunk. Yeah, that made sense.
I'm following.
My friend and I demolished that bottle, and yeah, that was a mistake. The bowling though was amazing in my head. Yeah, I threw curveballs that nearly went into the wall. Apparently, you're not meant to do that.
Yeah, my brother went down with his fiance to the distillery in Tennessee.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so they
I've been to one
like Jack
distillery.
Daniels, so that
I've
was
been
an
to one
adventure.
distillery. It's called the English Whiskey Company, and they're the very first one in this country. And
Okay.
and I went around it. I tasted all these samples, and my friend, it was a birthday present for me last year, and he drove me there, and we went around this distillery. It looked amazing, and they told us about how their whiskies are labeled chapters, not given any special names. And then we got to the end of the tour, and they're like, "Let's try some samples." My friend drove, so he couldn't touch any of them, and so they lined up like all these different chapters, about 7 shots for me, and then about 7 for him. I got those as well. Oh, fucking hell. Some of those were pretty bad, but it's okay because I remember nothing after them. Apparently I was carried into the car singing something. I was singing something incredibly lame. I'm not going to remember, so it doesn't matter.
There was no recording.
If there was, he's saving it for a rainy day. If I fuck up, he's going to use that against me. Okay. I can't risk that, so I'm going to have him assassinated. I also know he's watching this. You're dead. Oh dear.
That's great.
I had a few messy ones. We came up with this shot years ago, me and a mate. And it was called the Italian flag. I called it something else. I called it like shotgun to the head or something. And yeah, it was 3-layered shots of Sambuca, red aftershock, and absinthe.
Oh, all 3 I like, except for Sambuca, so just the 2.
Yeah, but yeah, and I think, I mean, back in the days when I could drink, I had like 8 of those one night. Nearly got arrested for slapping car wing mirrors. I don't know how I didn't get arrested. I vaguely remember doing it, and the police actually stopped me. How my friends managed to convince them not to arrest me, I have no idea. So I must have caused some damage.
I had a housemate that got wrecked, and he he whipped his dick out in front of a cop, and the copper didn't arrest him. And when he asked why, because he was really drunk, the copper said, "It's hard to be offended by something I can't see."
Good come back.
Ooh.
I thought it was the best thing I'd ever heard. Oh, by the way, they used to do these shots at a pub in Norwich called the Marquee, and they did random shots, which were brilliant. I watched this really big guy come in once, and the deal was if he could finish any shot, he'd get drinks for free for life. And he agreed to this term. So the guy pours out what looks like yogurt. It was. What he didn't know was that the guy had sprinkled some what's it called? California Reaper onto that, which is one of the hottest chilies on the planet.
Oh,
and he mixed it in, and he drank the shot, and the guy started crying about 5 minutes later.
It's like a ghost chili.
This guy's like 7 foot tall, massive, bald as a Malteser, and he was absolutely crying his eyes out. But they also do this flagon called Death, which is 2 shots of all the major spirits topped up with a little lemonade. Yeah, that's me done for one night. 20 quid, easy.
I used to work in a TGI Fridays for years, and I had this guy. I made him it's called an Ultimate Killer Zombie. It's one of those big round goblets, and it had an extra like gold rum float, and he had like 2 of these. And then he went off afterwards, and he came back the next day and said to me, "You bastards! I got into the wrong car and then puked in their seat." He just got up to it. He thought it was a taxi, and he got into the back seat, probably sort of passed out, and puked in the seat. Nice stories.
Yeah, we for my old housemate's 21st birthday, we lined up 21 shots of increasing strength, except for the last shot, which was actually a dirty shot, because it was what was left in the you know those hanging pourer things you put your bottle in and it has the measure in there. That measure, for the longest time, that measure had a shot of Jameson's in it, but it had just gone entirely black after a year
was
of
just
not
sitting there.
Yeah, it was basically sitting stale 1 year old out of the bottle Jameson's. And he got through the 20 shots included, some nice different aftershocks and rum, sambuca, tequila, vodka. We went through everything. Whiskey, of course, we had a couple cheap whiskeys in there just to really trigger him. And then he finished on the Jameson's. And prior to that, he was fine. That one shot, though, everywhere. He threw up everywhere. It was so many colours. I was both happy and sad. It's like a waste of aftershock. Not that Jameson's. I didn't want to touch that. That was dangerous.
Obviously.
Do you remember Goldschlager?
Yes, and they sell it in a shop around the corner from me.
Oh, that's classy stuff, that is.
Oh yeah, nothing says classy more than having your throat torn so the alcohol gets into your system quicker.
For people that don't know Goldschlager, it's got the little gold pieces in it. That's why it's called Goldschlager.
Oh, it's so fancy.
It's basically fancy sambuca.
The gold kind of tears you a little bit inside, but you don't notice it, so it gets into your system quicker. Or that's what it's supposed to do, apparently. Otherwise, you're just going to keep crapping really shiny crap.
Golden turds.
So if you find a guy behind you with a big sieve, be careful, okay?
The guy in the toilet.
What's it called when they go looking for gold? There's a name for it.
Prospector.
Yeah, he's
gold in these urinals.
in like an old uniform and everything, a massive white beard and a big brown hat. Doing a little prospecting here. Okay, well this is about to get messy. Let me get the newspaper.
So I worked in bars for the best part, I don't know, about 5 years, and there's so many stories from doing that, and especially about 3 o'clock in the morning. I used to work in a nightclub, and 3 o'clock in the morning, you see, I did feel bad. I did know the situation, but amount of times I see some piss girl sitting there out of her head, out of her face, like boob hanging out.
Better that than a guy.
Well, I saw that as well. You see the true face of humanity at 3 o'clock in the morning in a nightclub.
It's a fat bloke sitting on a tiny stool with a big tit hanging there.
Yeah, that and the girl, and everything happens though. And girls are as bad as the blokes in these nightclubs as well.
I don't know. I think we're worse sometimes.
Yeah, I've seen as many fights.
So I found discussing in nightclubs. It was that there was one called Puna Naz. I went in there and I went downstairs to find the toilets, and I walked into the girls' one first. Oh my god, that was horrific! It was a bomb site. And I went to the guys and I was thinking, wait, I can actually smell air freshener in this one. What the fuck were you guys doing? That should be criminal.
Yeah, some women's restrooms are pretty disgusting.
I have a get out clause because I'm entitled to use the disabled, so I don't ever have that problem.
I've done it before. I've had to change, and I'm like, I'm not going to use the men's or women's because I know they're going to reek. I'll go into where I used to work. They had a nice disabled toilet, but nobody that worked there was disabled. But they had all these ropes and pulleys and armrests, and I was like,
oh yeah, you could be careful.
I cycled 6 miles to work, so I had to get changed when I got to work. So I'd hang all my clothes up and then get changed. And it was like, this is amazing.
If there was no one with a disability that needed to use it, I don't have a problem with someone else using it.
I'll tell you what, it was the best toilet ever.
But it's one thing you can guarantee. Like, public disabled toilets are like 10 million times cleaner.
Yeah.
But if you at my dentist, they have one as well, and it's amazing as well.
My question is, would you do the like in between this thing if you got out and there was somebody disabled waiting out there? Would you like put on a limp or something?
Like in the IT crowd as well.
Yeah.
And commit.
That'd be pretty bad if it happened at your work.
I would actually walk out and go, "Good day."
That's the funny thing.
I'll give it 5.
It's funny because sometimes when we've parked in disabled spaces, you kind of get the impression from other people they expect you to sort of, or someone from that car to kind of fall out and then sort of drag themselves into the superstore. You know, if you look fairly normal, people kind of give you a funny look.
I get weird looks all the time because I don't look like a typical disabled person. Do you know what I mean? Heavily tattooed, green hair, bit of a goth, and people see that and don't see the fact that I've got a crutch or a stick or stuff. Kind of frustrating.
Please tell me you're wearing like one of my shirts when you're doing that. That's hot.
Not at the moment. It's in the wash. It has arrived though.
She has been wearing it for 3 days solid though.
I haven't.
Yeah, Miss Steam, fellow steampunker of yours, Miss Steam, she bought one, right? And she spilled milk over it, and I'm like, "You suck."
White supremacist
bastard. I know, right? I worked hard to make a crappy shirt that was probably the wrong price because I didn't know I could change it until I restarted it. Oops.
So the question was up or down.
Mm-hmm.
Was it meant to be more or less?
Well, the second one I ordered was cheaper than the first one.
Yeah, that's when I found Elizabeth Anonymous. Basically, she was gonna get one. She was gonna get one of the first ones, and then she was like, "Can you alter the price?" I'm like, "Oh my god, I didn't know I could do that." And I was like, I felt really bad. I was like, I felt guilty because I didn't know, and people paid quite a lot. In hindsight, a bit. I think it was too much. I felt it was too much, so I reduced it quite a bit. I think I did, didn't I? Yeah.
Yeah, the second because I the sandwich rents one as well, and that was cheaper than the first one.
Yeah. So when I redid the first one again, I've reduced it, so it's I think the same as that one as well.
Because I think they're really good quality T-shirts from there. Because I ordered the Undoomed one.
Yeah, I was considering getting one of his. I've been messaging him and talking about his content and stuff, and I'm like, I need to get one of your shirts. Yes, maybe I will. Now I've got the FedEx thing to pay. It's like, no, it's not happening.
God.
Sorry, Undoomed.
I've had so many problems with FedEx.
Oh, this is lovely because Magnus Deacon sent me a laptop because mine's dying, but his isn't as good as this one, annoyingly. And so I give it to my sister. He sent me a load of chocolates as well, which is great. My sister thoroughly enjoyed eating those because I had the dentist and had teeth ripped out, so I couldn't eat the chocolates that had just arrived.
That's unfortunate.
For that. Yeah, the dentist brutally maimed my mouth. He didn't even buy me dinner first before he fucked it. And it's only just started healing, so that's nice. He paid $250 to send this to me. And then I get a letter telling me that I owe for charges that aren't... Oh, hang on, what does it say on here again? Fuck it. Oh, shit, I'm going to drop glue. Nothing. It's not me. Disbursements out of the scope of EU VAT, and the total was £52.13. What the fuck are you... it's to me, I don't even... How he's paid $250 for postage, and there are things outside your purview that don't get taken into account? Are you kidding me?
I constantly get hit for custom stuff when I order from the States. I ordered some stuff the other week. The order total was like £25, and I had to pay £17 on top of that.
That wasn't for something... that's terrible.
I know.
That's like almost the cost of the thing.
Royal Mail,
yeah, exactly.
Chuck on like £8 or £10 handling fee as well.
The another patron sent me a care package of chocolates from Michigan, including a shirt, and this octopus toilet roll holder because she thought it was amusing, which I think is hilarious. But when it arrived, I had to pay an extra £32 customs charge because Parcel Force and the company she paid express delivery on, it didn't get covered.
I hate
That
parcel farce. They're a nightmare. I've had so many
Yeah.
arguments with them over the years.
Oh, Parcel Fast can. My dad used to work for them. My granddad did, in fact, at one point. They can all suck it as well. Bastards.
I'm sorry that you have
So,
to
yeah,
deal
I-
with it.
Oh, it doesn't matter. I think my sister said she'll pay for it because she's going to keep the laptop for herself. And I think in that regard, since she got a free laptop out of it, that's fine. It means then there's less chance of me paying for something I can't afford anyway. They can do one. Bastards. I feel sorry for Magnus in that as well, because he paid so much. How can FedEx, how can it only be about them in that charge? Why is it only them that get the money and not whoever else feels the need to take some, because they're all selfish fucks. They better not have taken any of my sweets when they're in that box. But no Butterfingers. Those things, my brother-in-law and I were talking about this. We reckon if money ever gets phased out, Butterfingers will be a fantastic replacement.
Interesting.
Because everyone will be broke. And I think that solves all problems. Oh, and fat. Really fat.
But I can't eat chocolate, so it wouldn't help me.
You can take the chocolate off the top because it's peanut butter inside.
Yeah, but then that's just peanut butter, isn't it?
Well, it's got a crunchy biscuity thing as well. I don't know what that is, but it's delicious.
How would you give change in that kind of currency?
You take a bite out of it, don't you? Yeah.
There you go. Like, here's a bar and a half.
It'll be worked out once Cthulhu wins the next election.
2012.
2020.
12.
2020, I mean. Sorry, it's getting late
I'm
in the
not
day.
going back in time, man. If I go back to 2012, I'm going to be really disappointed with myself.
Sorry.
Although I will intentionally go, if I ever do, I'll go back in time to 2012 and watch myself. I'll try and work out how I didn't notice my friend removed that bowling ball rack thing. I would actually love to see how he did it without me noticing.
Thing is, I think time is a construct.
It's a social construct.
It's a social construct. I don't believe in it.
Time is not linear. It's and to quote the doctor, it's wibbly wobbly timey wiminess.
Frequency is a construct. I can tell you that. If there's one thing that's a construct in this world, it is the frequency domain.
You know that Miss USA thing you linked earlier, right?
Yeah.
One of the tweets connected on that, and I remember now seeing it because I went and clicked the tweet, and underneath it, she was arguing with people about genders, and she said that actually there are 58 gender expressions. I'm like, oh my god, I've hit the jackpot! This bitch thinks there's 58 gender expressions. There's not.
That's a reduction. That was a reduction. I thought it was 72 or 70 something.
Exactly.
I have to look up because New York State officially recognizes some number. New York.
I'll give it time.
Gender list.
I think just because they were talking about.
I know, man. New York City released
taking up social
31.
class. And it was beautiful. I just love it. I'm sorry. The gender expression is not the same thing as biological sex.
So New York City, there's 31 genders. There's bigendered, crossdresser, drag queen, drag king, femme queen, female,
my god,
genders.
FTM, gender bender, pangender, transsexual, transsexual. I don't know why that's like it's
pansexual.
Woman, man,
my
boy,
god.
spirit, trans, agender, third
Hang on,
sex,
stop. Are these genders or gender expressions?
That's a good question.
Because if they're gender expressions and they put transsexual there, holy shit.
It's illegal to discriminate on basis of gender identity and gender expression in the workplace. So here's the list. I don't know.
Yeah, I'd like that list.
What is
it says 31 genders is the title. So
oh. I'm gonna go to bed tonight. I'm gonna go sleep in a little while, and I'll be sleeping with a smile on my face.
What does Riley Dennis?
Gender identities.
What does Riley Dennis identify again? Because that one confuses me. He says he's like
Riley Dennis is a trans non-binary lesbian.
I just don't get that.
That doesn't make any sense, does it?
I know.
That's the problem with him.
I know it's probably been said a million times, but it's binary. Yeah, so it's a misnomer, isn't it? It can't be that way.
It is absolutely
crazy. It's
just a chick with a dick. That's all he is.
It's not even that. He's a cross-dresser.
There's a great thing about as a meme. It's a picture of him, Riley Justin Apple, when Riley Justin Apple was younger, with short hair, and it says Riley here makes a more passable lesbian than Riley in the present. And they're right. The short hair just looks just such a lesbian.
Oh boy! And then the other thing that the Miss USA person said about what's it called? Healthcare or something.
It's a right, not privilege. Oh. Yeah.
She said that she said it was a privilege, not a right. But you should earn healthcare by working.
That entirely as well, and I'm like, the tweets. One of the tweets down below. I saved all the links to the tweets because I was considering making a video on it, and one of the tweet threads does devolve on healthcare and the economy and education. Like this is just madness.
You can't
focus on the original point, please.
You can't have open borders and stuff and universal healthcare. You have to have one or the other, because otherwise it's just not going to work.
Agree.
Yep.
Agreed.
I think the UK is a testament to that. Because you got healthcare tourism in the UK.
Oh.
I've seen it firsthand because I'm under Moorfields Hospital for my eyes, and you go up there and you sit in the reception and you can just sit there and go, well, you've brought your parents over from there and you've brought your parents over from there.
Yeah. I know that my aunt who works in the dental industry or dental office, she's seen a lot of the poor communities where I think Medicaid or Medicare, I forget which one is for the poor, not the old. But they've run into problems where a parent would bring in all 4 kids for dental checkups for all of them, but then they would cancel at the last minute, and basically they would be done for the day because the parents canceled. So they had to change the policy to be you can only have 2 people per day per family, just so that if they flake, then it's not nearly as bad. The healthcare industry is pretty screwed up in that regard too.
I'm not actually asked. I mean, do you have like private medical care yourself, or?
I get it. Well, actually, technically, I'm still my parents because it's cheaper that way. Because my brother's just graduated from university, so he's still under it with us as well. So it's actually cheaper for me to be under my parents with him than for me to have my own through my work. But once he gets married this fall, I'll be on my own through my work, private.
Double grass, your brother.
Yeah, because with my dad's insurance, it's the same cost no matter how many kids you have on it, as opposed to So with 1 kid, 5 kids, it's all the same, which is nice. But he gets good health care because he works for the state. So
right.
But New Jersey's running into pension problems. So
well, it's New Jersey. Everyone, even in the UK, we think New Jersey's just a pile of turd.
We kind of are a turd. We're the toxic waste dump for Philadelphia.
I knew it.
We have an identity crisis because we have Philadelphia is the largest city to the south, and then New York City is the largest city to the north. And unless if you live in basic central Jersey, which people debate whether or not exists, you either associate with New York City or Philadelphia.
Ah.
Yeah.
But
New
I've
Jersey
put
has
all the
some weird
links.
politics.
All the links that you've sent to me in the side chat, I've put in the description so people can go and have a laugh at those.
Yeah, because there's this thing in New Jersey where people who live in North Jersey and South Jersey acknowledge that North Jersey and South Jersey exist, but they don't believe that there's this mythical Central Jersey that may or may not exist, and they don't know how to define it. It gets really heated. It's kind of hilarious. Or weird. But New Jersey used to be divided by East and West Jersey back when we were a colony.
We need to reclaim our colonies.
Yeah, we're a little screwed up right now.
Yeah, we'll fix you, don't worry. You'll be saying aluminium in no time.
I was just trying to see.
And yes, I'm fully aware it's entirely the fault of the Royal Society of Chemistry in Canada.
Well, you might need to reclaim Canada first.
Oh, the Commonwealth will deal with that.
Because Canada's gone off the deep end.
Those blasted oiks shall suffer from the Queen's right hook.
I've been following a few of the Human Rights Tribunal cases that they've been dealing with up there. And the whole blasphemy laws and...
Yeah, the blasphemy law thing. I've seen some of the parliamentary... I've seen their parliament, by the way, looks like a pile of crap. But watching people talk about it in Parliament, and Justin Trudeau just skirts every single legitimate question rather than answer it, was astonishing.
Yeah, it's...
He got wrecked by some fat fuck on a subject similar, I think. I need to find that video because that was so funny. Somebody made a video of somebody saying Trudeau would probably be off doing something, a photo op or something. And they did a little deal with it glasses, little meme for it. That was beautiful.
Yeah.
I'll have to find that later. Fuck it. I'm getting too tired now.
Canada's a little screwed up.
Yeah, but it's okay. I live in England, so I don't need to care.
I also discovered the Reddit censors subreddit.
Really?
They post a bunch of stuff with, one of them was something having to do with the March Against Trump, I think it was, subreddit. They were using bots and got away with it.
That's pretty stupid.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of sad to read some of the stuff that Reddit has lefties get away with. No problem. But anything mildly conservative or moderate kind of just gets hidden.
Yeah, it's pretty shitty, to be honest.
Yeah. In our religion, bans users for pointing out that bad things Islam does in a thread about stuff religions do. So you can say bad stuff about Christianity or Buddhism or anything about Don't you dare say anything bad about Islam.
Don't say that. That's instant demonetization for my tiny little stream channel. Yeah, that's right.
Every religion, when you look at it, there is something bad that they've done or been involved in. It's kind of unavoidable.
Yeah, it's just
but it's all Christian.
Kind of goes hand in hand.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a thing, like all those Abrahamic religions or something.
Yes, Islam, Judaism, and Christianity, the Abrahamic religions.
I don't want to insult anyone who follows those religions, but your religions are fucking shit.
Oh,
I was raised Catholic. I accept that.
See, my issue is
I think we'll lose a patron soon now.
If I was going to believe in stuff, I'd want to believe in like fun stuff, like dragons and shit like that.
Dude, do you ever grow up watching Never Ending Story and wishing that?
I would kill to have Falcor as a pet.
That'd be so cool.
But is he actually technically a dragon? But he's furry.
Oh, he's a furry Oriental dragon.
Hang on. He's a furry.
Wait.
Well, he is a bit camping.
I don't know. I'm sure if you looked online, there would be Falcor / fiction somewhere.
Oh God, that's amazing. I need to
There
find
is-
it. I'll
there
do
is-
it. I'll do it in the morning.
There is / fiction for everything, if you just care to look for it.
Do you have your own / fiction you'd like to share?
No, I don't.
Damn it!
So
I can
close.
write some. It's not hard.
Oh no, I did science. I found that I can't string more than 2 letters together without a subtract symbol between them.
See, I was
I get confused otherwise.
an aspiring writer. So.
You got to give that guy last
Well, I
night. You know the / fiction last night. You got to give him like at least an A+ for effort on the imagination.
Oh, dear God. That thing was so racist and hilarious.
It's just some of the concepts, where they come from. Okay, it wasn't well written.
Right, okay.
It's just like,
So on
wow.
Twitter, right? On Twitter, that person said to us, "I'm going to write a fanfic of Artiface, Sugar Tits, and Omegon fucking." And it took so long to get to that sexy time. But by then, I was thinking, "Am I wearing a Führer costume? Am I a Nazi in this? What the fuck am I doing?"
Oh boy, this is fun.
I don't-
Trump
you see,
revealed.
My issue is like listening to that stream last night. To me, it's a bit of a personal challenge to write better.
I've read a few because of reading Ren, who's made me do it for videos on her channel. I've read a few erotic novels, and they don't do anything for me because I don't understand how anyone gets off to this.
I don't get it. I've read the first 2 50 Shades of Grey books just to see what all the fuss was about, and they are
Yeah, same. I read the
terrible.
first one, and I was like, I can do better. I could do better writing about my little finger going around the world and finger blasting people.
I
I reckon I could.
I don't get what the fascination was with.
No, I
It's
didn't get it.
overblown Twilight fan fiction.
Twice shite.
That's what it started. Oh, did you not know? It started as Twilight fan fiction.
Twice shite is gay.
Sparkly vampires.
Oh, it's sparkly. Yeah. How do we make these vampires look more menacing and like totally real? I know. Let's put some glitter on them.
God,
bothers
they're
me 'cause-
blasphemy to actual
Like-
vampires.
It's like young adult fiction. It's like I was reading vampire books when I was like reading that age category, and they still drank
Dude,
blood and they didn't sparkle.
I was reading vampire books before they decided to gentrify it.
Yeah.
Vampires were actually susceptible to the sun.
When vampires were actually vampires.
Sunlight does more
Holiday.
damage to those shitty vampires.
I'll have to read more on this, but apparently Trump revealed highly classified information to Iran foreign minister and ambassador.
Congratulations, Trump.
Yeah. Oh, God damn it. You gotta
He's
stop,
going to
buddy.
be one of the greatest presidents in your history. Hey, I'm just trying to fill you with optimism here, okay? I'm just here to help. You're fucked.
I mean, we were fucked either way, so I mean,
Yeah, you
it's-
were. When people get bitter and they say, herder, voting third party, herder, you're never going to win, herder, you basically voted Trump. Those people can suck my dick. But you were never going to win if you were with either Trump or Clinton. So
No,
you're just
Clinton
gonna have
would
to
have been
endure
just
this.
as bad in certain ways.
Would you say this presidency, if they can kind of maybe stop Trump doing stupid things, could just be regarded as like a lame duck presidency?
If he didn't do stupid shit, but he's so manipulative or manipulatable, he's so susceptible
Malleable.
to being manipulated. Like it's ridiculous. Like he's an old fart.
He also has no political background, so playing
No.
that game. I know he's done politics in workplace, but he's done it from a position
No,
of power, always from power.
During the primary, his politics was, "I'm going to attack everybody else."
I tell you what, I actually have to admit, when in 2012 I found out I started an Instagram, a personal one, and the very first thing I posted was in 2016 Trump's going to be president. And when I watched his campaign stuff, I sat there with my mother, and we were trying to watch some of it, and I was laughing my head off, and she's asking, "Why are you laughing?" I'm like, "Because people are going to vote for this. They're going to vote for it because somebody who isn't a politician is talking. He's destroying politicians because they don't know how to talk like normal people."
Yeah, no, they don't know how to. None of them knew how to respond to it.
No, and Trump, he has no chill at all.
Yeah,
And that is appealing to the people that often get ignored in the quieter areas of the country.
basically the Midwest and all of basically everything that isn't a city.
Basically, yeah. I was talking to somebody not too long ago about Illinois, I think it is, where majority actually votes of the districts vote Republican, but the one heavily populated area votes Democrat, and therefore that state always goes Democrat.
If you look at the Pennsylvania electoral map, it's the same way. Like there was only like 4 counties or something out of the 20 some that voted, but they're all rural except for Pittsburgh and Philadelphia. And
so to me, the one thing it proves is that it proves to you that the people that the state does not represent the people.
No,
at all.
Yeah,
so the system is a bit faulty. But then, obviously, I do respect the fact that it's first past the post or the highest. It's supposed to be that highest number wins thing.
Or and like all but 2 or 3 of the states, it's winner take all. There's a few states where it's actually split by district. But,
yeah, and then obviously you got Alaska, but no one cares.
Oh, Alaska.
You got a few college seats, but no one cares about them enough to go and collect them.
Yeah. I mean, Alaska is one of the few states that doesn't actually have an income tax. People actually get money from the government.
Oh, lucky bastards! And they get
like
to see Russia on a clear day.
I was actually looking at a map of Alaska for some reason, but I didn't realize how close the islands on Alaska, the arm that comes out, is actually close to Russia.
Dude, I can look out my window on a sunny day and see France. I can see all the white flags and all those poor French begging us to come to take them in. Not any Syrian refugees. No, these are French refugees trying to escape Emmanuel Macron, the granny fucker.
Oh God, I was following that election. I was like, oh boy.
I was laughing so much when I saw his wife. The very first words I uttered were
scary looking.
First thing I said was, "Wow, incest is allowed there." Jesus.
Wasn't he the one that also said that basically that the French people have to learn how to live with terrorism or something?
Yep.
Too?
He also said the French don't have a culture.
Yeah.
Even though for ages they've been protecting the French language.
I mean, yeah, the French language is used a lot in international or like diplomatic stuff.
Yep.
For a long time, it was referred to as like the diplomatic language. If I remember correctly.
Yep.
But that's dying.
Yeah. Well, no one cares now because it's France, and you got Macron, the granny fucker. The incestuous granny fucker. And with that happy note, I'm going to end the stream because I'm very tired.
Isn't it like almost midnight over there?
Yes, it is. It is. So I'm going to end this.
Yeah, it's only like 7 o'clock for me.